What avoidants secretly expect? During no contact, you've cut off contact. You've walked away. Silence has replaced your messages, your check-ins, and your emotional availability. But here's the twist no one talks about. Avoidance, the people who seem emotionally unavailable, indifferent, or even cold, are not as unaffected as they appear. In fact, during no contact, many avoidants are going through a private storm. On the surface, they may seem like they don't care, but deep down, there are hidden expectations, conflicting emotions, and silent hopes. Let's dive into what avoidants secretly expect during no contact, because it's far more complicated than you think. First, understand this. Avoidants don't usually process emotions in real time. When the relationship ends, they may appear calm or detached. That's because their primary coping mechanism is emotional suppression. But the first thing they secretly expect during no contact is that you'll eventually reach out. It's not because they're arrogant. It's because that has often been the pattern. Avoidants unconsciously create distance and expect the other person to be the one who bridges it. When you go silent, it disrupts this dynamic. They may not show it, but they're paying attention. Every day you don't call, you don't text, you don't chase, it registers. They may not act on it, but they feel it. The expectation is subtle but powerful. You're supposed to come back. Now here's where it gets interesting. While avoidants fear closeness, they also fear abandonment. So during no contact, a second secret expectation brews beneath the surface. They expect that you're still emotionally holding space for them, that maybe you're just giving them time, and when they're ready, you'll still be there, waiting, available, and open. They want the comfort of your presence without the demand of your intimacy. In their mind, you're out there, but still loyal, still orbiting. That thought soothes them, even if they don't admit it. But as time passes and silence grows louder, their mind begins to twist the narrative. And here comes the third secret expectation. They start hoping you'll prove them wrong. Avoidants often carry deep-rooted beliefs that they are unworthy of love, that if someone really gets to know them, they'll eventually leave. During no contact, part of them wants you to break the silence, to chase them, to fight for them, to prove they matter. Even though they push people away, deep down they hope that someone won't give up. They test people by withdrawing, but when no one comes after them, it confirms their worst fear, that they were never really loved to begin with. This paradox creates emotional confusion. So the fourth secret expectation is a hope for clarity without vulnerability. They want you to explain everything, how you feel, what you want, what you meant, but they don't want to expose their own heart in return. In no contact, they're often scanning for clues, checking social media, rereading old messages, mentally dissecting your last conversation. They're searching for answers without having to ask the questions. They want to understand what went wrong, but on their own terms. Quietly, privately, without confrontation. And here's something even more revealing. Some avoidants secretly expect you to evolve during no contact. Not in the way you might think, not to become someone else, but to become more emotionally self-sufficient. They may want you to come back stronger, calmer, and less needy. It's not because you were too much. It's because intimacy scares them. If they're going to engage again, they secretly want to believe it will feel safe, low pressure, and emotionally manageable. So they imagine that this silence is creating distance not just between you, but within you, that you're becoming someone who won't make emotional demands that overwhelm them. At the same time, avoidants have another contradictory expectation. They want to feel missed but not needed. They want to feel significant to you, but not obligated to you. In other words, they want to be chosen, but not burdened. So during no contact, they're wondering if you still think about them, if they still have emotional power over you. It feeds their sense of worth. But if you come across as too dependent, they'll pull away again. So it's a tightrope. They want admiration without attachment. And then there's the fear of being replaced. Though avoidants pretend they're fine with you moving on, they secretly dread the idea that someone else will get the version of you they didn't know how to appreciate. During no contact, the absence leaves room for imagination. And imagination is often more intense than reality. They start thinking, what if they're with someone else? What if that person understands them better? What if I pushed away the one person who truly loved me? These thoughts stir shame, regret, even panic. But avoidance won't express that. They'll just get quieter or colder. But don't be fooled. That silence is not indifference. It's self-protection. Some avoidants expect no contact to punish you, especially if the breakup was emotional or dramatic. They may think, now they'll feel what I felt. They may see it as justice. But over time, that expectation fades, and it's replaced by something much more vulnerable. The hope that maybe, just maybe, the door hasn't closed forever, even if they don't want to walk through it yet. And here's the final secret they won't admit. Not even to themselves. Deep down, many avoidants expect you to eventually be the one who understands them anyway. That despite their walls, their silence, their confusing signals, you'll somehow just get them. That your love will translate their emotional avoidance into compassion. That you'll know their distance isn't rejection, it's fear. That you'll read between the lines of their silence and still choose to care. It's a fantasy, but it's a powerful one. And it keeps them emotionally tethered even when they say they're done. So what can you do with this knowledge? Here's the key. Stop trying to be what the avoidant expects and start becoming what you need. The more you try to meet their unspoken expectations, the more you abandon yourself. No contact isn't a strategy to win them back. It's a space for you to reconnect with your own worth. Because when you stop chasing, when you stop performing for their comfort, something shifts. You regain your power. And that's the one thing avoidants never expect. That you'll grow so much in the silence, you'll no longer need their noise. If they come back, it won't be because you fulfilled their secret expectations. It will be because you broke the pattern. You stepped out of the dynamic. You made them feel your absence. Not with anger or punishment, but with peace. And that peace, ironically, is what triggers them most. Because for once, they're not running from you. They're just watching you walk away and realizing they might never be the same again. If this video resonated with you, take a deep breath. You're not alone. Navigating relationships with avoidant individuals can leave you feeling confused, unseen, and emotionally drained. But the silence you choose now isn't empty. It's powerful. It's where healing begins, not for them, but for you.